The morning sun cast golden light upon Jetavana Monastery. A soft breeze stirred the Bodhi leaves. Disciples gathered near the Buddha. A young monk stepped forward, his face troubled. He lowered his head, hands pressed together. His voice carried the weight of worry. "Lord Buddha," he began, "the world speaks endlessly. News of war, famine, and suffering floods our ears. Our minds grow restless." The Buddha observed the disciples. Their eyes carried weariness. He nodded gently, his expression serene. His voice was like flowing water. "The mind, untended, is like a wild river," he said. "It rushes in many directions. Without guidance, it overwhelms its banks." A monk looked up, his brow furrowed. "But we must stay informed," he said. "We cannot turn away from suffering. What shall we do?" The Buddha gestured toward a clay pot resting nearby. He lifted it with ease, showing its empty interior. The monks watched attentively. "If you fill this pot with sand and water," he said, "it will grow heavy. Carry it, and it burdens you." The disciples exchanged glances. The Buddha continued, his gaze unwavering. "To walk freely, one must decide what to carry and what to release." The young monk pressed his palms together. "Master, how do we know what is worth keeping?" His voice trembled with longing. The Buddha smiled gently. "Consider the earth. Does it cling to every falling leaf? Does it hold every gust of wind?" The monks pondered his words. One disciple closed his eyes, exhaling deeply. His shoulders loosened, as if shedding unseen weight. The Buddha sat upon a woven mat. "The world will always speak," he said. "But you must choose what enters your heart." A bird sang upon the temple roof. The monks listened. The Buddha raised his hand, gesturing toward the sky. "Hear only what nurtures wisdom." The monks nodded, absorbing his teaching. The young monk sat beside the Buddha. His breath slowed. His thoughts settled like still water. The Buddha continued, his voice steady. "The mind is a garden. If you plant weeds, they multiply. If you plant wisdom, it grows." The disciples absorbed his words. The monastery remained quiet. Wind brushed against the trees, whispering softly. The monks felt their burdens ease. The Buddha lifted the clay pot once more. He turned it upside down, letting the air fill its space. Emptiness is lightness. The monks watched as the pot lay empty. The Buddha placed it upon the ground. "Do not fear release," he said. "It is freedom." The young monk smiled faintly. "But when sorrow comes, when suffering reaches us, must we still let go?" His voice held hesitation. The Buddha regarded him with kindness. Compassion does not mean clinging. It means listening, understanding, and responding without being consumed. A disciple bowed deeply. "Master, is there a way to listen without suffering?" He sought clarity in his teacher's words. The Buddha closed his eyes briefly. "Listen as the earth listens to the rain. It absorbs, yet remains itself. It does not drown." The young monk inhaled slowly. His heart felt lighter. The noise of the world no longer pressed upon his spirit as before. The Buddha rose, stepping toward the temple gates. "Walk mindfully," he said. "Choose what enters. Let wisdom guide your hearing." The monks stood, bowing together. The monastery remained peaceful. The wind carried distant voices. But within their hearts, silence remained. Another day. Another morning. The sun rose over Jetavana Monastery, casting golden light upon the quiet temple grounds. Disciples gathered for meditation. The soft rustling of leaves accompanied the distant murmur of the city. Voices carried news of turmoil beyond the monastery walls. A young monk approached Buddha. His eyes troubled. "Lord Buddha," he said, "how shall we face the endless stream of voices and concerns?" Buddha sat beneath the Bodhi tree, his gaze serene. "Tell me," he said, "when the river swells, does it resist or flow?" "It flows," the monk replied. His voice carried uncertainty. Yet, it carries burdens from the mountains and the sky. Buddha nodded. Indeed, the river does not refuse the weight of the world, nor does it allow itself to drown. The disciples listened closely. Their thoughts wandered to the stories they heard daily. Stories of war, suffering, joy, and loss. Buddha continued, "What weighs heavier upon the river? The stones it carries or the depth beneath?" "The depth," the monk answered. "The river remains deep, even when burdened with stones." Buddha smiled. "So too must your mind remain deep. Voices will come, stories will pass. Yet, your awareness must remain steady." The monk bowed his head. "But Lord Buddha, even when I listen, the voices linger. They shape my heart, my thoughts, my dreams." Buddha gestured toward the distant hills. "If the wind carries dust, does the mountain cease to stand?" "Number." "Lord Buddha," the monk said, "the mountain endures. Yet," Buddha said, "the dust may settle upon its surface. If the mountain lets it be, does it grow heavier?" The monk paused, contemplating the question. "It does not grow heavier, only covered." Buddha's eyes shone with quiet wisdom. "Just so, you must let the voices pass. They may touch you, but they must not bury you." The monk breathed deeply. The weight upon his heart loosened. A faint smile graced his lips. Buddha turned to the gathered disciples. "In the city, people speak without pause. They carry news, opinions, fears, and judgments. But must you carry them all?" A senior monk spoke. "Lord Buddha, if we do not listen, how shall we understand their suffering?" Buddha nodded. "Compassion is the river's depth. Awareness is the mountain's steadiness. Listen, but do not lose your balance." The disciples sat in silence, absorbing the lesson. A gentle breeze stirred the Bodhi leaves. The young monk bowed again. "Lord Buddha, how shall we know what to hold and what to let go?" Buddha picked up a lotus from the pond nearby. "This flower floats upon the water. It remains untouched by the depths below." He placed it upon the surface, where it drifted lightly. "Be like the lotus. Let stories touch you, but do not sink into them." The monk watched the lotus, his heart calm. "Lord Buddha, I understand." Buddha smiled. "Then go forth, knowing that the river moves, the mountain endures, and the lotus remains unburdened." The disciples bowed, their minds lighter than before. The monastery returned to its quiet rhythm. Another day, another lesson. The voices of the world would continue, but their hearts remained steady. Another day, another lesson. The disciples gathered beneath the Bodhi tree, their minds filled with thoughts of the world beyond the monastery. The young monk approached Buddha. Once more, his voice was calm but heavy. "Lord Buddha, I understand how to filter and listen." Buddha regarded him with quiet wisdom. "You have learned to let the river flow and the mountain stand. What troubles you now?" The monk sighed. "The suffering does not cease. Even though I do not drown in voices, the pain of others still weighs upon me." Buddha nodded. "Compassion is the heart's depth, yet balance is the mind's anchor. Tell me, what happens when the wind stirs the lake?" "The surface ripples," the monk replied. "The reflections distort, but the depths remain still." Buddha smiled. "Just so, your heart may ripple with sorrow, yet your depths must remain undisturbed by the currents above." The disciples sat in quiet reflection, absorbing his words. A senior monk spoke. "Lord Buddha, how do we keep our depths steady?" Buddha gestured toward a small candle nearby. "When a flame flickers in the wind, does it extinguish or endure?" "If shielded, it endures," the monk replied. Buddha picked up the candle. "Compassion must be like this flame, steady, yet protected. It must not burn uncontrolled, nor be smothered by excess wind." The monk bowed his head. "But Lord Buddha, when suffering is great, how shall we act without losing ourselves in sorrow?" Buddha placed the candle upon a stone. "When darkness surrounds the flame, does it struggle or simply shine?" It shines, the monk answered. His voice soft. Buddha nodded. Let your compassion shine without struggle. Let sorrow touch you, but do not let it consume your spirit. The disciples listened, their minds growing lighter. The wind moved gently through the leaves, carrying distant voices from the city. The young monk bowed again. Lord Buddha, the world moves, and I understand. But how shall we live among it without losing our balance? Buddha turned his gaze to the flowing river nearby. A boat upon the water does not sink unless it takes in too much. The monk breathed deeply. Then I shall remain afloat. I shall listen, but not carry more than I must. Buddha placed a hand upon the monk's shoulder. Then your heart shall remain light, your mind clear, and your presence steady. The disciples bowed, their burdens lifted. The monastery returned to its peaceful rhythm. Another day, another lesson. The world continued, yet their hearts remained still. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.